Good morning. Tell me about yourself and your experiences.
Good morning, sir. My name is Zero. I am an electrotechnical officer with more than 10 years of experience working on various vessels. I work on boat carrier, workboat, AHTS, crane barge, and oil and chemical tanker vessel. I graduated from Merchant Marine and get Certificate of Competency, Electrotechnical Officer, regarding STCW regulation. I bring strong knowledge of shipboard electrical systems, discipline in following safety standards, and I am committed to maintaining high reliability of electrical systems, supporting safe cargo operations.
Can you explain your main responsibilities as an ETO on a tanker vessel?
My main responsibility is to ensure all electrical and electronic systems are operating safely and efficiently. This includes power generation, distribution, automation, navigation, communication, and safety systems such as fire detection and emergency shutdown. I also support the engineering team with troubleshooting and preventive maintenance to avoid downtime during tanker operations.
Tanker vessels have strict safety requirements. How do you ensure electrical safety during cargo operations?
I always follow company safety procedures and international regulations such as ESGOT before cargo operations. I check that all electrical equipment in hazardous areas is properly certified and functioning. I ensure bonding and grounding systems are in place to prevent static discharge, and I monitor emergency shutdown systems. I also coordinate with the chief engineer and deck officers to maintain safe communication during loading and discharging.
What would you do if the main generator suddenly fails during cargo loading?
First, I would immediately switch to the standby generator to maintain power supply. Then I would investigate the cause of the failure, checking fuel supply, cooling system, and electrical protection devices. I would report the incident to the chief engineer and take corrective action to restore the main generator safely. Preventive measures would be reviewed afterward to avoid recurrence.
Tanker ships require strict compliance with PSC and vetting inspections. How do you prepare the electrical systems for inspection?
I prepare by ensuring all electrical records are updated, including maintenance logs and test reports. I check emergency systems such as lifeboat power, emergency lighting, GMDSS, and fire detection. I also verify calibration of monitoring instruments and confirm that hazardous area equipment is properly certified. During inspection, I assist the superintendent and inspectors by providing clear technical explanations and documentation.
What documents may PSC ask from you as ETO?
They may ask for planned maintenance system records, logbooks of generator and cargo pump motors, calibration certificates of gas detection.
What will you do if PSC asks about safety procedures in hazardous areas?
I explain that we always use explosion-proof equipment, bonding and grounding to prevent static discharge, and follow permit-to-work system. I also confirm that I wear PPE and never work alone in high-risk areas.
How do you answer if PSC asks about pollution prevention related to electrical systems?
I show records of monitoring systems like ODME oil discharge monitoring equipment and confirm that alarms and sensors are calibrated. I explain that I maintain power supply to pollution prevention equipment such as oily water, separator, and ensure compliance with MARPOL rules.
What is your role during PSC emergency drill inspection?
I support the team by checking emergency power supply. For blackout drills, I confirm the emergency generator starts automatically. For fire drills, I ensure emergency lighting and communication systems are working. My role is to keep all electrical systems reliable during drills.
What is your role as ETO during cargo loading and unloading?
My role is to ensure all electrical and electronic systems that support cargo operation are reliable. I monitor cargo pump motors, emergency shutdown systems, and inert gas system controls. I also keep standby power ready in case of generator failure.
How do you ensure safety of electrical equipment in hazardous areas during cargo operation?
I check that all equipment is explosion-proof and properly grounded. I verify bonding cables to prevent static discharge. I also confirm that emergency stop buttons and alarms are tested before operation.
What action will you take if a cargo pump motor trips during loading?
I will check the breaker, overload relay, and motor condition. I also inspect suction and discharge valves for blockage. If the problem cannot be solved quickly, I switch to standby pump and report to the chief engineer.
How do you support the deck team during cargo unloading?
I monitor power supply to cargo pumps, inert gas fans, and control panels. I keep communication with deck officers to ensure smooth operation. I also check that emergency generator and lighting are ready in case of blackout.
What is your responsibility regarding emergency shutdown ESD system during cargo operation?
I test the ESD system before operation to confirm it works properly. During cargo operation, I monitor sensors and alarms connected to ESD. If activated, I secure the electrical system, stop pumps, and assist the chief engineer in troubleshooting.
How do you prevent electrical problems during cargo operation?
She know how to say yes, daddy. Good girl, she know how to make a man happy. She a short queen, but she get a little scrappy.
I follow preventive maintenance, checking insulation, resistance of motors, testing alarms, and verifying control circuits. I also keep spare parts ready, such as fuses and contactors, to avoid delays. Regular checks reduce risk of breakdown and pollution.
How do you ensure your team follows electrical safety procedures?
I give clear instructions, check PPE, and confirm lockout tagout before starting work. I also lead by example and report unsafe behavior immediately.
What will you do if you see smoke coming from a electrical motor?
I will stop the power supply, isolate the affected section, and use fire extinguisher if safe. Then I inform the chief engineer and bridge and follow emergency procedure.
How do you prepare for enclosed space entry from electrical side?
I check that portable lights are explosion-proof, cables are safe, and power supply is isolated. I also confirm gas detector and ventilation are working before entry. I require a permit to work to captain and chief engineer.
What is your action if a fire alarm rings in the engine room?
I will stop machinery if needed, activate fire extinguisher system, and inform the bridge. I follow emergency procedure and assist the team to control the fire safely.
How do you prevent accidents during maintenance work?
I always isolate power, lockout, tagout, and confirm zero energy before starting. I use correct tools and keep the workplace clean. Prevention is better than reaction.
Can you explain the function of HVAC system on a tanker vessel?
HVAC system provides controlled air circulation, temperature, and humidity for accommodation, control rooms, and sometimes cargo areas. It ensures crew comfort, protects sensitive equipment, and maintains safe air quality.
What is your role as ETO in maintaining HVAC systems?
My role is to monitor electrical supply to compressors, fans, and control panels. I perform preventive maintenance, such as checking motor insulation, testing sensors, and ensuring automation works correctly. I also troubleshoot electrical faults to avoid downtime.
What would you do if the HVAC system stops during cargo operation?
I would first check power supply and breakers, then inspect motor overload relays and control circuits. If needed, I switch to standby unit. I report to the chief engineer and ensure ventilation is restored quickly, especially in control rooms and accommodation.
What common problems can occur in HVAC systems on tankers?
Common problems include motor overload, sensor failure, clogged filters, and control circuit faults. Electrical issues like short circuits or insulation breakdown can also occur. Preventive checks reduce these risks.
What is the duty of an ETO regarding the boiler?
My duty is to check and maintain the electrical and electronic parts of the boiler, such as control panel, sensors, alarms, and ignition system. I make sure the automation and safety devices work properly.
How do you start the boiler safely?
First, I confirm water level, fuel supply, and safety devices are ready. Then I check the control panel and ignition system. I start the boiler, step by step, monitor flame, pressure, and temperature until stable.
What will you do if the boiler does not start?
I check the power supply, control circuit, and safety interlocks. I test the ignition system and fuel line if needed. I reset the system and report to the chief engineer for further troubleshooting.
What action will you take if a boiler alarm sounds during operation?
I check the type of alarm: low water, high pressure, or flame failure. I confirm sensor readings and test the alarm circuit. I never bypass safety alarms. I stop the boiler and fix the cause before restarting.
How do you maintain the boiler from electrical side?
I clean the control panel, check wiring and connections, and test safety cutouts. I also verify sensors, alarms, and emergency stop. Preventive maintenance keeps the boiler safe and reliable.
What will you do if the chiller is not cooling properly?
I will first check the power supply and control panel. Then I measure refrigerant pressure and temperature. If the condenser or evaporator is dirty, I clean them. If the problem continues, I report to the chief engineer for further action.
What are common electrical problems in a chiller system?
Common problems include motor overload, faulty contactors, sensor failure, and wiring insulation breakdown. These can cause the compressor or fans to stop, leading to poor cooling.
How do you check if the compressor is working correctly?
I monitor current draw, suction, and discharge pressure, and listen for abnormal noise. If the motor trips, I check overload relay and insulation resistance. Proper readings confirm the compressor is healthy.
How do you ensure food safety when the chiller fails?
I immediately inform the galley and chief engineer. I try to restore cooling quickly or switch to standby unit. If not possible, I arrange temporary cold storage to protect food until the chiller is repaired.
What is your responsibility as ETO regarding the fire alarm system?
My responsibility is to maintain and test the system regularly. I check detectors, control panels, alarms, and wiring. I also ensure records are updated and the system is always ready for inspection.
How do you troubleshoot if a fire alarm keeps ringing without fire?
I check the detector for dust or contamination, test the wiring for short circuit, and verify the control panel. If needed, I replace faulty sensors. I never silence or bypass the alarm without proper investigation.
Do you have any question to us?
Thank you, sir. I am grateful for your time today. I am very motivated to join your team and support the company's high standards in tanker operations.